Fact 1. Jupiter's rotation speed is so high that a day on it lasts less than 10 hours. With a diameter 11 times larger than Earth's, it completes a rotation faster than any other planet in the solar system. This creates powerful hurricanes, such as the Great Red Spot, which has been raging for over 300 years. Fact 2. On the Moon, it is possible to jump 6 times higher than on Earth with the same effort. This is explained by gravity, which is only 1/6 of Earth's. This is precisely why astronauts in spacesuits easily leaped up a meter, as if in slow motion. Fact 3. In outer space, there is no familiar sound. Waves simply cannot be transmitted without a medium. Even if a ship explodes nearby, it will be visible, but not audible. Therefore, astronauts rely on radio, not hearing. True silence is not a metaphor, but a physical reality. Fact 4. On Venus, a day is longer than a year. The planet rotates so slowly that one revolution around its axis takes 243 Earth days, while a full orbit around the Sun takes 225 Earth days. This means that a morning on Venus can last longer than an entire spring on Earth. Fact 5. The distance between Earth and the Moon is large enough to accommodate the entire chain of planets from Mercury to Neptune with room to spare. The average distance of about 384,000 kilometers may seem small on a map, but on a cosmic scale, it is vast. Lunar missions are not a leap, but a flight through genuine emptiness. Fact 6. Theoretically, Saturn could float on water. Its average density is less than that of water, at just 0.69 grams per cubic centimeter. While no ocean of such a size exists, physics dictates that the ringed giant would remain on the surface, like a cork. Fact 7. A day on Mercury lasts for 176 Earth days. This is a consequence of gravitational resonance, where the planet completes 3 rotations on its axis for every 2 orbits around the Sun. Consequently, a Mercurian sunrise occurs less frequently than Earth's half-year periods. Fact 8. Diamond planets exist in space. For example, 55 Cancri E is a super-Earth whose mass is 8 times that of Earth, and it may be composed almost entirely of carbon in the form of graphite and diamond. The value of such a planet is trillions of Earth economies, if only it could be mined. Fact 9. If the Sun were the size of a doorknob, the nearest star, Proxima Centauri, would be 400 kilometers away. The space between these celestial bodies is not merely large, but almost incomprehensible. Even the fastest probes would take millennia to reach the nearest stars. Fact the 10th. On Saturn's moon Enceladus, a salty ocean churns beneath its icy crust. Geysers erupt from fissures near the South Pole, expelling water vapor and organic matter into space. This is one of the primary locations for searching for extraterrestrial life in the solar system. Fact 11. Black holes can make sounds. In 2003, astronomers detected low-frequency oscillations in gas near a black hole in the Perseus cluster. The frequency is 1 becquerel per billion years, but it is a true cosmic hum, the lowest note known. Fact 12. Saturn's rings are disappearing. They are composed of ice and dust, and due to the planet's gravity, they fall onto it in the form of rain. According to calculations, the rings will disappear completely in 100 million years. We are currently living in a brief moment when we can see them. Fact 13. Space has a smell. Astronauts who returned from spacewalks described the smell on their suits as a mixture of welding fumes, burnt meat, and gunpowder. This is a result of the reaction of oxygen in the airlock with high-energy particles that adhered to the suit's surface. Fact 14. The solitary planet B77410 is situated at a distance 1,000 times greater than Earth's distance from the Sun. Its revolution around the star takes tens of thousands of years. The planet's orbit is so elongated that astronomers have not yet been able to fully calculate its trajectory due to the object's extremely slow movement. Fact 15. The temperature in the shade on the moon can drop to minus 170 degrees Celsius, while on the sunlit side, it can rise to plus 120 degrees. Due to the absence of an atmosphere, heat is not retained, and the transition from heat to cold occurs almost instantly. The 16th fact states that light from the sun travels to Earth in 8 minutes and 20 seconds. Everything we see in the sky is a glimpse of the past. If the sun were to suddenly disappear, we would continue to live in its light for another 8 minutes, unaware of the catastrophe. The 17th fact states that on Uranus, almost everything is upside down. The planet's axis is tilted at an angle of 98 degrees, causing the planet to literally roll along its orbit on its side. This results in half-year days and nights, where one hemisphere can go without seeing the sun for 42 Earth years in a row. Fact 18. The spacecraft Voyager 1 is transmitting signals from a distance of over 22 billion kilometers. It has left the solar system, but its energy is running out. In 2025, communication will likely be lost forever. Humanity's message will fall silent. Fact 19. The star UY Scuti is one of the largest known. Its radius is almost 1,700 times greater than the Sun's. If it were located where the Sun is, its surface would reach Jupiter's orbit. It takes light 1.5 hours to travel from the center to the edge of this star. Fact 20. The planet WASP-12b is so close to its star that a year on it lasts only 26 hours. Due to gravity, it is stretched like an egg and is gradually evaporating. Scientists are observing its atmosphere escaping into space, a rare opportunity to witness the death of a world in real time. Fact 21. The Milky Way and the Andromeda Galaxy are moving towards each other at a speed of approximately 400,000 kilometers per hour. A collision is inevitable. In 4 billion years, they will merge into one giant galaxy. Stars will rarely collide, but the sky will change forever. Fact 22. On Mars, sunsets are blue. The planet's atmosphere is very thin, and the dust within it scatters red light while allowing blue light to pass through. As a result, the sky is reddish during the day, but the opposite occurs at sunset. The sun's disk is dimly yellow, surrounded by a cool blue hue. Fact 23. The Earth's magnetic field protects us from the solar wind, a stream of charged particles. Without it, the atmosphere would likely have been blown into space, as probably happened on Mars. Auroras are a side effect of this protection, a clear visualization of the invisible shield. Fact 24. There exist so-called rogue planets, objects comparable in size to Jupiter that do not orbit a star. Hundreds of millions of them are found within a single galaxy. These are cold, dark worlds hurtling through the void, where there is neither light nor heat, only endless night. Fact 25. The sun constantly experiences flares, which are energy releases equivalent to billions of nuclear bombs. The most powerful of these can reach Earth, causing magnetic storms and disrupting radio communication. In 1859, one such flare triggered an aurora visible as far south as the Caribbean and burned out telegraph stations. Fact 26. Interstellar space is not perfectly empty. For every cubic centimeter, there is approximately one hydrogen atom. For comparison, in the same volume on Earth, there are about 10 to the 19th power molecules. Space is an almost absolute vacuum, but not entirely. Fact 27. The temperature of the Big Bang was such that the first atoms could only form after 380,000 years. Before this, everything existed as superheated plasma, opaque to light. Only after cooling did the universe turn on the light, and the cosmic microwave background appeared. Fact 28. On the exoplanet COROT 7b, located 480 light-years from Earth, it rains molten rock. The temperature on the day side reaches 2,000 degrees. Rocks melt and evaporate, forming clouds that then pour down as hot lava. Fact 29th. In outer space, a person loses consciousness within 15 seconds. Without a spacesuit, blood boils, lungs rupture, and skin begins to bubble, not from temperature, but from pressure. Death occurs after 1.5 minutes, but there is a chance of survival if one returns to the airlock within the first 30 seconds. Fact 30. Hoag's object, a galaxy shaped like an eye, is one of the most mysterious. At its center is a ring of stars, surrounded by an almost perfect ring. Between them lies emptiness. How such a structure formed remains unclear. It is not a ring wave and not the result of a collision. Fact 31. Light in space can bend. This phenomenon is gravitational lensing. Mass, for example, of a black hole or a galaxy, warps space, and light from distant objects goes around it, like a stream around a stone. As a result, one object can be seen in several places at once. Fact 32nd. The planet Gliese 581c is considered potentially habitable. It is located within the habitable zone of its star and is 1.5 times larger than Earth. However, it is possible that it is covered by a dense atmosphere of greenhouse gases, in which case the surface temperature would be higher than in an oven. Fact 33rd. Space debris has become a threat to orbital stations. Hundreds of thousands of fragments, ranging from small screws to non-functional satellites, orbit the Earth. Even a pea-sized particle moving at a speed of 7 kilometers per second can penetrate the armor of the International Space Station. Fact 34th. Neptune experiences the fastest winds in the solar system, exceeding 2,000 kilometers per hour. This is twice the speed of sound on Earth. How such a storm is possible on a planet so far from the Sun remains one of the mysteries of planetary meteorology. Fact 35th. Astronauts in orbit grow 2 to 3 centimeters taller. Due to weightlessness, the spine straightens, and a person essentially stretches. This effect is temporary. After returning to Earth, height quickly returns to normal. But in space, everyone is a little taller than themselves. Fact 36th. Gravity influences the passage of time. Near massive objects, time slows down. Satellites of global navigation systems adjust their clocks because time on orbit passes faster than on the Earth's surface. Without these corrections, GPS would be off by kilometers every day. Fact 37th. The coldest known point in the universe is the Boomerang Nebula. Its temperature is only 1 Kelvin, which is 1 degree above absolute zero. This is colder than the cosmic microwave background. Gas from a dying star is expanding so rapidly that it carries heat away. Fact 38th. The quasar 3C273 is one of the brightest objects in the universe, despite being over 2 billion light-years away. Its light is more powerful than that of 1 trillion suns. The source is a supermassive black hole that consumes matter on such a scale that it is visible from Earth with an amateur telescope. Fact 39th. On Mars, there is Mount Olympus, which is the tallest volcano in the solar system. Its height is approximately 22 kilometers, almost 3 times higher than Everest. The Martian atmosphere does not erode mountain slopes as actively as Earth's. Therefore, the volcano appears as a giant plateau. Fact 40. During space flights, astronauts experience a deterioration in their sense of taste. Microgravity causes fluid to accumulate in the upper body, and nasal congestion reduces the perception of aromas. Consequently, they often request spicy condiments on board, such as horseradish, Tabasco, or wasabi, to be able to taste anything at all. Fact 41. Approximately 4 stars are born every second within the observable part of the universe. The majority of these are red dwarfs, which are dim and cool but long-lived. Such celestial bodies can exist for hundreds of billions of years, far exceeding the current age of the universe. Fact 42. The far side of the moon has more craters than the visible side. The satellite lacks an atmosphere, but Earth partially shields the side facing it from meteorites. Consequently, one half of the moon acts like a shield, while the other resembles a battered surface on a merciless arena. Fact 43. There exist zombie stars, white dwarfs that survive a supernova explosion and continue to exist by absorbing material from a neighboring star. Sometimes they flare up again. These objects seem unwilling to die, restarting against physics. Fact 44. Radiation from cosmic particles can travel through millions of light years and still pose a danger. Some of these particles are so energetic that a single particle can be equivalent to a tennis ball traveling at a speed of 100 kilometers per hour. However, its size is comparable to that of an atom. Fact 45. At the center of our galaxy lies the supermassive black hole Sagittarius A star. It is 4 million times more massive than the Sun and influences the movement of all stars near the Milky Way's core. Despite its size, it was only directly observed in 2022, appearing as a shadow against light. Fact 46. The spacecraft New Horizons flew past Pluto in 2015, transmitting the first detailed images. It was discovered that Pluto has an icy heart, a region shaped like a heart-shaped spot. This area reflects sunlight more strongly than the rest of the surface and may be moving. Fact 47. Stars do not twinkle in space. The twinkling effect is due to atmospheric distortions on Earth. Outside the atmosphere, light travels in a straight line and stars appear stationary. This is precisely why telescopes, such as the Hubble, are placed in orbit. There, the view is clearer and steadier. Fact 48. The ocean of Europa, a moon of Jupiter, is hidden beneath an ice crust up to 20 kilometers thick. Geothermal vents, analogous to deep-sea smokers on Earth, may exist within it. This makes it one of the most promising locations for the search for life beyond our planet. Fact 49. The visible night sky is merely a tiny fraction of the entire universe. The human eye, under ideal conditions, can detect approximately 5,000 stars, whereas there are over 100 billion stars in our galaxy. We are looking through a narrow slit, akin to a pee-hole into space. Fact 50. The most distant object ever photographed is the galaxy GNZ 11. Its light has traveled to us for over 13 billion years. We see it as it was just 400 million years after the Big Bang, akin to looking into the infancy of the universe. Fact 51. Dust in space may be older than the sun. Stellar winds, expelled by dying stars, create microscopic grains that wander through interstellar space for billions of years before ending up in planets, asteroids, or even meteorites on Earth. Fact 52. Helium-3 is a rare isotope that can serve as fuel for future fusion reactors. Its quantity on Earth is very limited, but on the Moon, within the regolith, it is found in much greater abundance. This makes the Moon a potential energy treasure trove for future generations. 53rd fact. The fastest star in the galaxy, S4716, orbits the black hole at the center of the Milky Way at a speed of approximately 8,000 kilometers per second. Its orbit takes just 4 years to complete. This celestial object can be described as a cosmic projectile gliding along the edge of an invisible abyss. Fact 54th. The atmospheric pressure on Venus's surface is 92 times higher than Earth's. This is comparable to the pressure at a depth of 1 kilometer underwater. Under these conditions, metals like lead melt. Probes, such as Venera 13, operate for no more than 2 hours before their technology succumbs to the heat and pressure. The 55th fact states that space officially begins at an altitude of 100 kilometers above sea level. This is the Kármán line. Neither airplanes nor balloons ascend higher than this. Beyond this boundary, the air is rarefied to zero, and aerodynamics ceases to function. Only orbital velocities and engines are applicable. Fact 56th. Some stars are born in pairs and then separate. When one of them explodes as a supernova, the second star may remain and turn into a runaway star. Such solitary objects move through the galaxy at speeds of hundreds of kilometers per second, unattached to anything. Fact 57th. On Mars, dust devils occur. These are whirlwinds up to a kilometer high, lifting red dust in a spiral. They resemble tornadoes, but arise not from storms, but from temperature differences on the surface. One such whirlwind accidentally cleaned the solar panels of the rover's Spirit. Fact 58th. The James Webb Space Telescope can see through clouds of dust and gas that hide the birth of stars. Its infrared eyes penetrate where telescopes like Hubble are powerless. The first images already showed stellar nurseries that no one had seen before. Fact 59th. There exist galaxies without dark matter. This discovery has cast doubt on one of the foundational models of cosmology. Systems like NGC 1052-DF2 behave in ways that were not anticipated, potentially necessitating a re-evaluation of the very concept of gravity on large scales. Fact 60. During extended missions, astronauts lose up to 1% of their bone mass per month. Without the load of gravity, the skeleton literally begins to dissolve. To compensate, they spend hours on specialized exercise equipment, but even this does not always prevent bone weakening. Fact 61. In intergalactic space, there are filaments, giant structures made of gas, dark matter, and galaxies stretching for hundreds of millions of light years. They form the cosmic web, connecting everything in the universe. We live inside one such filament, Laniakea. Fact 62nd. Saturn's moon Titan is the only place in the solar system besides Earth that has stable liquids on its surface. However, these liquids are not water, but methane and ethane. Methane rains occur there, hydrocarbon rivers flow, and lakes splash, a true cold analog of Earth's hydrosphere. Fact 63rd. The asteroid Oumuamua, the first recorded interstellar object, orbits the Sun. It entered the solar system in 2017, rotating and accelerating without any visible traces of gas. Its shape resembled a cigar or a disc, and the object's origin remains unclear. Fact 64th. If Earth were the size of a grain of sand, then the Sun would be like an orange, and the distance between them would be about 2 meters. At this scale, the nearest star would be almost 500 kilometers away. Even in miniature, space remains vast. Fact 65th. The Milky Way is not stationary. It moves at a speed of approximately 600 kilometers per second. This movement is directed towards a mysterious region known as the Great Attractor. The contents of this region are unknown, but its gravitational pull attracts thousands of galaxies. Fact 66th. Jupiter possesses lightning that is tens of times more powerful than terrestrial lightning. These phenomena occur in the upper layers of the atmosphere, where continent-sized hurricanes rage. Some discharges are so strong that they illuminate an entire hemisphere of the planet for a second, like a giant camera flash. Fact 67th. The solar system crosses the galactic disk approximately 30 million years. During these moments, the probability of collisions with comets from the Oort cloud increases. Some scientists link mass extinctions on Earth to these periodic plunges into dense regions of the galaxy. Fact 68. Astronaut footprints left on the moon over half a century ago are still visible. Due to the absence of an atmosphere and wind, nothing erodes these imprints. If they are not erased by a meteorite, they can endure for millions of years, serving as a silent trace of humanity's temporary visit. Fact 69th. In the constellation Aquarius, the exoplanet GJ11214b is located, enveloped in dense clouds that do not allow light to pass through. Scientists hypothesize that it may be covered by a global ocean hundreds of kilometers deep. The surface temperature is around 230 degrees Celsius. Fact 70. Asteroids can possess satellites. For instance, the asteroid Ida, which travels through the belt located between Mars and Jupiter, has its own moon named Dactyl. This marked the first instance where a satellite was discovered orbiting an asteroid, thereby confirming that even small bodies are capable of having systems. Fact 71. The WOW signal, recorded in 1977, remains one of the most mysterious radio intercepts in history. It lasted 72 seconds, originated from the constellation Sagittarius, and was so powerful and clear that the scientist working with the data wrote "WOW" next to it on the printout. Attempts to replicate it were unsuccessful. Fact 72nd. Stars can explode twice. In rare cases, after the initial supernova burst, the remaining core collapses into a black hole, absorbs some of the ejected matter, and triggers a secondary burst. Such an event, called a fallback, has not yet directly observed. Fact 73rd. The Oort cloud lies on the border of the solar system. It is a colossal collection of icy bodies encircling us in a spherical shape at a distance of up to 100,000 astronomical units. This cloud serves as a reservoir for comets, and some of them may travel towards us for millions of years before reaching the Sun. Fact 74th. The existence time of neutrinos from the supernova 1987A outburst was measured with such precision that it was possible to confirm that neutrinos have mass, albeit a minuscule one. These particles pass through the Earth by the billions every second and almost never interact with matter. Fact 75th. Spacecraft utilize gravitational maneuvers to accelerate. When flying past a planet, a probe essentially steals a small amount of its energy. This is how the Voyagers gained the boost needed to leave the solar system without expending extra fuel. Fact 76th. Some pulsars, which are neutron stars, have such stable rotation that they are more accurate than atomic clocks. One such object, PSR B1937 plus 21, makes almost 642 rotations per second and deviates by less than a nanosecond per year. They are used as natural beacons for navigation. Fact 77th. There exist hot Jupiters, gas giants orbiting close to their stars. They are so near that the surface temperature reaches 1,000 degrees. One of them, HD 18973b, has an atmosphere with hurricanes at 7,000 kilometers per hour and possibly rains of glass droplets. Fact 78th. Pandora, a satellite orbiting Saturn, has earned the nickname Shepherd of the Rings. Its gravitational influence keeps particles confined within the narrow F-ring, preventing them from dispersing. Satellites like Pandora and Prometheus effectively herd the rings, maintaining their shape and density. The 79th fact states that the universe is expanding, and it is doing so with acceleration. This discovery from the late 20th century revolutionized cosmology. The culprit is dark energy, an unknown form of matter that constitutes about 70% of everything that exists. What it is remains a mystery. Fact 80. Uranus smells like rotten eggs. Its atmosphere contains hydrogen sulfide, the gas responsible for this characteristic odor. On Earth, it is dangerous in high concentrations, but on Uranus, it is too cold to smell the odor, even if someone dared to sniff it. Fact 81. Cosmic rays can interfere with the operation of electronics. High-energy particles, upon entering microcircuits, are capable of altering information bits, causing malfunctions. This is precisely why satellites, probes, and spacecraft are shielded, and code is duplicated to safeguard against accidental errors originating from space. Fact 82nd. In the centers of some galaxies, black holes with masses of billions of suns have been found. One of them, TON 618, weighs about 66 billion solar masses. This is such a massive object that its accretion disk shines brighter than the entire galaxy in which it is located. Fact 83rd. Space is capable of causing hallucinations. Some astronauts have reported flashes of light with their eyes closed. This is a result of cosmic particles entering the optic nerve or the brain. Considering the radiation beyond Earth's magnetic field, such effects are not uncommon. Fact 84th. Orbital stations do not hang in the sky but are constantly falling. The ISS moves at a speed of almost 28,000 kilometers per hour and is continuously falling towards Earth. But due to its speed, it misses. This is precisely what creates the state of weightlessness for those on board. Fact 85th. Some exoplanets orbit in the opposite direction to their star. This contradicts classical models of planetary system formation. Such orbits may result from collisions or the capture of external bodies. Cosmic architecture can surprise. Fact 86th. Stars can live for billions of years, but they die in a matter of days. A supernova explosion is the moment when a star sheds its outer layers, leaving behind a neutron star or a black hole. The brightness increases millions of times, and the object becomes visible from the other side of the galaxy. Fact 87th. Some galaxies do not rotate like a spiral, but like a whirlpool within a whirlpool. These are double rotations, one direction in the outer disk, the opposite in the inner. Such systems indicate galaxy mergers and the complex history of their interactions. Fact 88th. Magnetars are a special type of neutron star with a monstrously strong magnetic field. It is 1 trillion times more powerful than Earth's. One such object, if it were at the distance of the Moon, could erase data from credit cards on Earth. True monsters among stellar remnants. Fact 89th. The most massive known star is R136A1, located in the Tarantula Nebula. Its mass exceeds the mass of the Sun by approximately 300 times, and its luminosity by millions of times. Such giants have a short lifespan and end their lives as supernovae or hypernovae, leaving behind black holes of colossal sizes. Fact 90. The exoplanet Kelt 9b is the hottest known. The temperature on its day side reaches 4,300 degrees Celsius, which is almost like the surface of some stars. The atmosphere literally evaporates into space, and scientists observe the planet slowly disappearing. Fact 91st. The Horsehead Nebula in the constellation Orion is the shadow of a dust cloud against glowing gas. Its recognizable shape is the result of radiation from young stars, which burn away the edges of the darkness. This is an example of how stars are not only born in clouds, but also shape their outlines. Fact 92nd. Space mirrors are a real project. In 1993, the Russian satellite Znamya-2 deployed a reflector illuminating the night in Europe with a spot approximately 5 kilometers in diameter. The experiment showed that in the future, it will be possible to direct sunlight to where it is needed. Fact 93rd. In the densest star clusters, the distance between stars can be as little as a few trillion kilometers, less than the distance from the Sun to the nearest star. In such places, the sky never darkens, and stars shine with thousands of lights in all directions. Fact 94. Betelgeuse, a star in Orion, is a red supergiant destined to explode as a supernova in the future. In 2019, it unexpectedly dimmed, sparking rumors of an imminent explosion. It turned out the star had ejected a cloud of dust that obscured its light. The end is near, but the exact date remains a mystery. Fact 95th. There are stars in space that do not contain metals. The very first stars, Generation 3, were composed almost exclusively of hydrogen and helium, remnants from the Big Bang. Not a single such star has been found. They did not live long. Their existence is proven only indirectly, through the chemistry of subsequent generations. Fact 96th. A photon can be born in the sun's core and travel to the surface for over 100,000 years. Upon exiting, it leaves the sun in 8 minutes, but before that, it reflects infinitely within its depths, losing energy. Each ray of light is an ancient traveler, having begun its journey before the Neolithic era. Fact 97th. Cryovolcanoes have been recorded on Neptune's moon Triton, which erupt not lava, but liquid nitrogen, ammonia, and methane. These geysers eject misty plumes up to 8 kilometers high. The surface is covered with peculiar patterns resembling cracks on a frozen leather ball. Fact 98th. The starry sky that we see is not real. Light from some objects takes millions of years to reach us. We observe their past, and some stars may have already gone out. A telescope is not a window into space, but a time machine into the past. Fact 99th. There exist gravitational waves, ripples in the fabric of space-time. Einstein predicted their existence, and they were first detected only in 2015. The source was the collision of two black holes. This is a new sense in astronomy. We have heard the cosmos for the first time. Fact 100. The last atom in our body could have been born in the depths of a star. Carbon, calcium, iron, all heavy elements originated in stellar cores and were dispersed after supernova explosions. We are literally stardust, gathered into a temporary form, and space is our home, not metaphorically.